People, people. People, people. People, people. People, people.
Hey, Jackie boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's always a delight to hear from you, Jack. But I must tell you, you also sound high as fuck. That's good to hear from you. What are you doing? What am I doing? Jack, do you mean like in general? Or the show. Thank you. The show. Thank God. Yeah, no, I'm kind of like ending the show, right? Of course, it's the end of the season, and we were covering the elections, and the elections are over. So yeah, the show will be ending. You know. It went fine. It went fine. Whatever. It was sort of a low stakes thing as far as like choosing between people because there were no terrible candidates. We talked about that a million fucking times, and I do want to tell you about that because like, the election was one of the central themes of our show. Of course, that's why we kept interviewing politicians, and I'm gonna get back to that, but also there's this other thing that happened to me this week that is really, I think, strange and fun. And I really want to tell you that. I know everything has been very much about the local elections and stuff, but there's this other thing. Okay, it's like this, Jack. I went to the grocery store. I was maybe a little stoned. And I was sort of in a hurry, by God. And I bought toilet paper and some fucking other sundries I needed while I was there. As you do at the grocery store. I'm sorry, Jack. I don't mean to fucking make this a longer story than it is, but stick with me. I get home. Blah, blah. My day goes along. Later, I open up the toilet paper and I realize I bought single ply toilet paper. I didn't even know they still made single ply. First of all, I didn't, I guess, realize they made single ply still. Like, I knew times were tough, but I didn't realize, like, are those old ladies not quilting anymore? Jesus Christ, did those old ladies die? Oh my God. No, I just thought of it. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think very much about that. Okay, we release it. But yeah, it seemed like all the toilet paper was double, quilted, double stuffed. That's Oreos. Super absorbent, or whatever, with bears. Remember the bears? The bears. Are the bears gone? Jesus Christ, did global warming get the bears? Fuck. No, I don't mean, I thought this would be a fun story. Fuck! No, okay, no, that's just, I just didn't see. Whatever fucking brand has the bears, I'm sure the bears are fine. I haven't seen those Coca-Cola bears in a while. We haven't heard from Yogi in a bit. What are we stumbling upon here? This is not part of my plan, not part of the story. What are happening with our bears? Are we losing our bears? Okay, I'm trying to, God damn it, I'm trying to get through this for you. So whatever, I have this single ply toilet paper. Have you ever had single ply? It's sort of a weird relic of another time and place somehow. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm like, whatever. How bad could it be? So, whatever, I use the restroom. and, you know, I get the toilet paper out, and that shit is crazy thin. I mean, like, I didn't know whether to wipe my ass or trace it. Do you know what I'm saying, Jack? That was, oh God, I didn't expect that to get weird like that. But yeah, I guess when we started investigating those single-ply toilet paper problems, we discovered that maybe, like, global warming has killed off all of our advertising bears. The election. I didn't forget. That's what I was talking about. I just had to get that off my chest, you know? The silent treatment, eh? I know, I went off into my own little world there for a minute when I was telling that story. I know that you actually asked me about local politics, but I've just been talking about it so much, you know. I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about politics. There is stuff to talk about. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Jack? Did I lose you? Hello? Something's weird. Something's weird. Oh fuck, is it one of the weird ones? Oh God. Is it one of the weird ones? I feel like something's weird. I feel like something's weird. I don't know. Jack, are you there? I feel like something's happening. I'm gonna get back on topic. I'm gonna get back on topic now. Whatever's happening, thing. Yes. My friend called, tried to get me on topic. I avoided it. But now I'm gonna go back to being on topic. No, you're there. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? No, I'm like, I don't know, nothing, I guess. What the fuck? It was, something was weird. I don't know. It was weird for a minute. I don't know. Sorry, buddy. It was just, I was being a poor conversationalist, of course, and for that I apologize. But also, sometimes when I get to talking about this show stuff, where I let my creativity really interact with the real world, things get weird sometimes, I guess. What do you mean you can relate? You're saying the lighting in your scene keeps changing as if all of your replies were shot out of sequence? That's a very strange note, Jack. Weird. That's weird. It fucks up our universe to talk about it too much, even though it's obviously happening? I don't know. It's weird because, like, usually this kind of stuff only really happens when we're doing shows. You know what I mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means, Jack. That's a universal level question, my friend. I think ever since we started blending our imagination with the reality of local politics, things might have gotten yeah, I don't know. Seems like a normal day. Hanging out, making art, wearing my typical loungewear, talking on the phone to my friend who is a monkey puppet. And yet somehow the situation seems heightened. Well, then maybe I ought to go back to talking about local politics, because the show itself was born from kind of these two desires that I had. One was to sort of help my community get to know the people that are running for office because local politics matter. But then the other was just to have fun and entertain people and tell jokes. And those two things seems like they pull apart from each other, and it's hard to mix them in the same show. So maybe like when I went too far out and decided to talk about single ply toilet paper instead of talking about the results of the election, maybe somehow my mind, which created this show and the universe we live in the show, my mind started to tear itself apart. Jack, you don't think my mind's trying to tear itself apart, do you, John? You don't think my mind's trying to tear itself apart? Jack, you don't think my mind's trying to tear itself apart between the concepts of having fun and actually reporting interesting news that I base my whole show on, do you? All right, let's talk about the election, because that's largely what this show is about, and we want to provide closure for the show. That's important. It was mostly a write-in ballot election, and that fucking seemed like it took forever to get real numbers about. We did election night coverage. It was hilarious. At Longmont Public Media. And we did election coverage that night live, and it was from 7 till 9. And all local publications that wrote about it published their articles kind of at 7:30 or 8. The latest ones came out around 8. But new numbers came out around 8:30, a little after 8:30, I guess. And we happened to be on the air when they changed. So we reported them live or whatever. And I'm like making fart jokes or whatever the fuck I do on this show. And we reported those fucking new numbers. And those numbers didn't change for a day or so. I don't think they got another update till, I don't know, maybe 2 days later or something. Maybe that's not right. But for about 12 hours, somewhere in there, I was like in my bed chatting with a lover, and we were talking about that night and talking about the show or whatever. I was like, yeah, we actually had like the most recent numbers that were out, and we talked about it, and it was kind of 2 a.m, and I was like, I wonder what it is or whatever. We looked it up, and nothing had changed, and nobody else had reported any new shit. So like, what it essentially became was our show had the most accurate, up-to-date election coverage in the county for like maybe 18 hours. That happened. That really happened. What a weird part of this whole story that has been. So whatever, we did the election coverage, and you'll recall we gave some endorsements, and we did that in writing as well, sort of like a couple weeks before the election. And lo and behold, who got elected, you might be asking. Basically the question to ask, I guess. Maybe you tuned in like 20 minutes ago or whatever, being like, I'll just get some information and a few quick jokes. No, not on this show. This show's only getting weirder. So, Aaron Rodriguez won his seat back. We love him. And Shakita Yarborough, she also got into city council. Awesome. We're doing very well. We got an awesome team on city council. Good for us. Good for them. Now, they are all in power now, right? And so our relationship in the arts with them has to change a little bit or whatever, because it's not election season anymore. Exactly. Now that they're elected, we got to poke maybe a little bit of fun at them, you know, in a friendly way. We love our politicians in town. They seem to be wonderful people, of course. They all have golden hearts and shit like that. But, you know, golly, it's sort of our job in the arts to, you know, hold power accountable through our little means and methods. So now, if you don't mind, a little joke about city council. All right, so we had the election on the 2nd. So it took us a few days to kind of get information and kind of figure out who had what. But by kind of the 6th, we had the information and people were declaring victory, whatnot. So on the 9th, we had a new city council and a new mayor. Who won mayor? Did we say? No. It was a lady named Joan Peck. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. We interviewed a couple people for mayor here on this program and enjoyed it very much. We didn't have a chance to meet with Joan Peck, a delightful character that she is. Maybe she's just too good for us. Her and her little sweaters. No, she's wonderful. We love her. And she'll do a good job as mayor. So they got elected on the 2nd, figured it out by the 6th, and on the 9th, they were in city council. Now you're wondering, here we are at this historic time, whatever, we've talked about all these topics on this show. What's one of the first things that they worked on in city council? I'm glad you asked. They decided that in these historic times, they would like to meet half as often. You know how we've been saying like, oh, city council's every Tuesday or whatever? Because that's what they were doing like pre-pandemic for years, right? Now, city council apparently has decided as a group that they would like to go to city council meetings less often. Fuck. So relatable, city council. I gotta tell you, so very relatable. Because I don't want to fucking go to them. They are terrible. City council meetings are boring as fuck. I get it. Usually in Longmont, for a long, long time now, they have met as many as 4 times a month. Usually 4 times a month. And it's 2 sessions to kind of like run the city and vote on shit and whatnot. And then 2 sessions for like study sessions where they have the experts come in and give testimony, where they kind of gather the information before they vote. They have it like separated. And so 2 nights for study, 2 nights for progress. Interesting, good system. Seems like it was working pre-pandemic. But apparently these guys only want to go twice in a month. It's just a really interesting thing, you know? And we do have the most amazing people. We do have great people. And we do have really great people. You know, don't get me wrong. We have really great people on city council. They're so great. In fact, they must be so fucking great that even though we talked about things like homelessness, and every time we did talk about homelessness, it was tough to get real answers about it. Did you notice that in this series? That's an important thing. You could have interviewed anybody from city leadership in our area and gotten basically those same answers. Mostly the answers are, we're doing what we think we can and we don't know how to do anything else and are uncomfortable offering services. We talked about that maybe last episode, whatever. We talked about that. We talked about the rent crisis. We talk about transit problems. We talk about the economy. We talk about worker pay and worker exploitation. We talk about Jeff Bezos building a town down the road to house his people that can't afford life because he won't pay them money or whatever. We're talking about all these crazy things, and our people are so brilliant on city council. Our people are so great at their jobs that they actually only require half the time that normal city council is required to run the city in a normal time. That's amazing. We have really amazing people. I love our people on city council. And they must have even better skills than we realized. Very impressive. Very impressive. Because, I don't remember them when they were running. I don't remember anybody on city council that came on this show saying, yeah, we have really tough times in front of us, and America is dealing with a historic crisis on a few fronts. And I think, honestly, we can knock all these problems out in, 2 Tuesdays a week from 7 till 11. I think we can get it all done for you folks. I think that's a great bargain. And I can't believe we struck it so rich with the people that we elected to city council that they're able to solve these amazing historic problems in half the time. Amazing. It's amazing. It is unbelievable. It is the definition of unbelievable, It's the definition of incredible in that it's not very credible, but we have wonderful magicians running our city, and I'm really curious to see how that'll go, because I do wonder if they were meeting 4 times a month, 2 times for progress, and 2 times for study. I wonder what they'll cut, the study or the progress. I know, did that get a little weird? I didn't mean it to get weird. Just ribbing you. Ooh, just ribbing you. We're in historic times and whatever, and I do love our local politicians, and I do love the work they do and whatnot, but whatever. Maybe don't become such politicians that you go to work half the time. Maybe that's, I don't know, whatever. Just a note. Just a note between friends. Good work, please continue. I'm certainly not going to try and take that job, so please fucking help yourself. But also, it'd be great. It'd be great to we talked about hundreds of kids that are literally homeless nightly in our community. Maybe something on that level needs to be taken care of before it's maybe I need, an extra Tuesday. Well, I don't know. I love them. I love our people. I'm not trying to say anything negative about our people that are in city council. I love them. And seems very optimistic. And, golly, maybe optimism is the pathway forward. So I'm just going to get right behind them about it and be optimistic. I'll bet it'll go great. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It did. It felt good. It felt like a monologue. It felt like doing the monologue for the show. And that's weird. I wasn't expecting that today at all. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, because it was my day off. I had my big coat on. I was putting on my perfume and doing my little drawing and stuff, working on this piece. Yeah, it's just a typical, beautiful Sunday. Oh, it is Monday. That's why it has this weird show energy. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. That's why, because like it's Monday, and so Monday is when we have the magic set up to where the universes come together, and so like of course that's why it's Monday today. Yeah. Oh, it's Monday today. Yeah, I have a guest on the show. Sergio, the guy who runs the station, is on the show. Today. Like now. Fuck! Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, Andy.
Here at your place.
It's nice to be home.
All right, so this is Sergio Angeles. Tell me this. You're the person I talked to when I wanted to try and do this project.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been working up here with this stuff?
We officially launched Lawman Public Media January 1st, 2020. Mm-hmm. And that was after the Lawman Observer had gotten a contract from the city of Lawmont to run Lawmont's public access TV channel. And our approach was to truly open it up to the public, create a media makerspace, a media incubator of sorts, and really allow the community to participate and engage with them to create public access programming for Lawmont, or any type of programming for that matter. So we won the contract. We started January 1st, 2020. Whew. 3 months later, COVID hit. Luckily, since we, were knowledgeable in live streaming and media, it was pretty quick for us to adapt to, and we did become a resource for individuals, corporations, on hey, how do I go virtual? How do I make this event virtual?
Right.
And since we have all this gear available, it made it easy, for us to also teach others.
Yeah.
Hey, use this. Here's how you do it. It's not that hard. It can be.
I mean, yeah, that's really true.
Yeah.
You guys do an amazing job over here, and you guys cranked up just in time to cover an election.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was thanks to you.
Oh well, I mean, like you guys did a lot of other coverage, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Beyond running things like council meetings and whatnot, there were the debates, interviews with the candidates or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that just a fucking crazy whirlwind for you?
Well, so I'll say that, so Lawman Public Media in that sense, like we, again, just served as a makerspace. We had an individual who wanted to create that type of content. And again, that's what public access and the media makerspace is for. So he, created a team to help, put all of that together, filmed everything, had the interviews, reached out to, all of the politicians, effectively just scheduled everything. And then, we just became the effectively facilitator and the distributor of that local content. But that's why, that's a really good example of the importance of public media,
right.
And how beneficial it is, in a local community. So.
I think it's really essential. It's an idea place.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can kind of crystallize an idea and kind of put it out in front of the public.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great American tradition, of course, public television.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Really, for me, a lot of the great First Amendment arguments are centered around that kind of speech. It's like, I don't know, Wayne's World or whatever. It's that. But it's also somebody like Bob Ross, who's like famous, of course, for being gentle and talented and standing in front of a curtain with a goddamn canvas. And that's not exactly compelling television compared to like normal TV.
Sure.
They're cutting every 2 seconds or whatever. But I feel like it's still some of the most impactful human programming that got made and kind of television history.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so much performance and makeup and fucking fake plastic people on big TV. Like, I don't watch TV very often, okay? But when I'm at a bar or at a friend's house and the TV's on, and I see like what like news anchors look like, or pastors, or like people drinking a Pepsi in a commercial, they look inhuman. I don't know anyone that looks like these people with like super straight teeth and like gorgeous skin and shit. I don't know anyone like that, by the way. It's unearthly somehow. I don't know. I'm very freaked out by it, I guess. I'm more, as I talk about it, maybe I had to bring it up with my therapist. But
Well, it's overproduced, right?
it's just overproduced, and there's lighting everywhere, and it's this perfect reality. Whereas like something like Mr. Rogers, you know, that really seems like you're meeting you're meeting another person.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this great quote that said, one of the only, well, here the quote is, and I don't necessarily agree with the wording of it, but he said, the only purpose for art is to meet another human. And I feel like I've watched, you know, let's say Stephen Colbert on TV a bunch of times. I don't feel like I know him, you know? But when I watch those Bob Ross things, I feel like I know Bob Ross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something to do with like how much pomp is put on it and how much showbiz is on it. That's why I wanted to have you on,
Sure.
because I think this topic is super fascinating.
Yeah.
And if you're a local youngster or whatever watching this, you watched the first part about all that election shit? Man, you're a weird person. That this is a place where I think ideally younger people could come and kind of have their own programming or a podcast. You guys have a podcasting program.
Yeah, so I guess before I get to that, I mean, I think going back to maybe the overproduction of today's content, you can do that here
Of course
if you
you
want
can.
to, right? I mean, you know, Lawmore Public Media is really just limited by your creativity.
Right.
It's anything you want to do, you can accomplish. It can be something as overproduced as that, or it can, you know, you can go film it somewhere outside here, right?
Of course.
It really just depends on the content that you're wanting to achieve. That's the beauty of public access.
Yes. Because they have fancy cameras and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
My theory on that, and the reason my show has looked the way it has, is because of that effect, I feel like there's some trade-off between how sincere you seem and how like dressed up your show is.
Yeah.
At some point, it's like, really, you're showing me really who you are through an inch of makeup and like lit up like a rotisserie chicken or whatever? I'm not sure about that.
You don't know?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So for me, you know, that was sort of an artistic choice, but we could have been shooting this in 4K with
That's
the
true.
lights and all this stuff. But that's available here. We just didn't do it for this project because we really needed to at least seem sincere.
But I mean, you had some really good, like black and white, like beautiful 4K short film that you embedded into, you know, your program, right? I mean,
Right.
And I know that wasn't our gear here, but
Well,
that
that gear's available, and you could shoot that
that's
same
true.
shit.
Yeah.
We had short films mixed into this project, and one of them was like a really high-level, beautiful film, I thought. But yeah, that's why it's funny, you know, is because like we just came out of like, I don't know, this looks nice, but it's like, you don't even deserve this ficus. You
Which
have
is
so much trouble.
one fern, one ficus.
One ficus.
Two people, one ficus.
That's my budget level, one ficus. But yeah, it's just here. Let me backtrack and just say I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do my little show here with no real notes. You know.
Hey, no, I mean, it makes me happy that you're able to do this.
It was beautiful to
And-
be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to have a space like this, I think in Longmont, and there are other public access stations elsewhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've kind of been absorbed by the city.
Sure.
For various reasons, and it's not run by an independent nonprofit or anything like that.
Right.
But we devote ourselves to the education, production, and distribution of local media. And as you've been mentioning, part of that is being able to afford all this equipment for people to learn how to use to create a show like this, or a PSA, or a video for their business, or I use a GoPro that I took to Longs Peak, and then I put it on our channel, our Longmont's channel, right? It's whatever content the community wants, whether it's media in terms of photography, video, obviously mostly around video, podcasting. We do have a podcast room downstairs, and it's all available to the public, 9 to 5. And if you want to support what we're doing, we do have a membership that lets you have 24/7 access, discounted rentals, and
very affordable.
Yeah.
So we are in an age of content generation, and attention shapes reality. And so a lot of us in the world are getting into the business of content generation. That's a big thing.
Yes.
I talk to people all the time that are like, I would love to start a podcast, but I don't know how, have any equipment, don't know how to work any equipment. Did you know that this resource is here? I think a lot of people don't connect those ideas. You want to produce a podcast, they do that here. They could teach you how to do it. You don't have to, ask your friend, really. You could show up and make a new friend, you know what I mean, that serves the community.
Well, that's the nice thing about this place too, is that there are like-minded individuals, people that are also learning with you, or maybe slightly ahead of you.
Right.
And we're all about knowledge sharing, and that's how you move the community forward. Is here, let me help you, let me teach you what I know, and then hopefully then you can impact someone else as they're coming in here, or get help from other individuals to make your production happen, whether it's a podcast or a show.
And even if they don't make their content here, they can submit content they've made onto your website.
Correct.
For submission onto TV. You
Yeah.
can show your stupid thing on TV.
Whatever it is, it could be it could be your wedding, it could be a concert you went to, or whatever. So I like to use. I've been promoting LPM more as the Netflix of Longmont, minus Stranger Things. Because think about all the content that happens on a day-to-day basis here.
Yeah.
And lots of things that maybe people don't know about or may want to watch later.
Yeah.
But they just can't, and then it's just lost in the ether. There's no centralized location to watch Longmont specific content.
That's true.
So we're becoming that. We are that.
There are filmmakers in our community.
Yeah.
There are young people that need shit to do. When I was a kid, man, if we didn't have fucking telephones in our pockets that could take pictures. Matter of fact, if you had used your telephone to try and take a picture, they would have looked at you strangely. But if I was walking around with a 4K camera on my ass all day, I think my friends and I would be making a show or a series or something. Here's the idea, kids. Here's what you do, right? You get your stupid friends together and you make a stupid thing. You make a little show. Maybe make 5 episodes. You talk to local businesses and you be like, hey, you can be the sponsor for my stupid show. And then when you put it on TV, you get paid for it.
Yep.
That is so much better than hoping YouTube pays off or putting out an album and hoping Spotify pays you something. I'm telling you, it's an overlooked revenue source for creative people.
Yeah. We're here to empower creatives, and they're part of our community, right? It's what drives creativity. It's what drives innovation.
That's right. And advertising is
community,
not evil.
context, conversation.
Right.
Just this show. Think about all the people that you've brought on, had conversations with. Maybe changed your mind about a couple things, maybe not. I don't know, right?
Yeah. The purpose of this show was mostly just to sort of give people an opportunity to speak in front of the community and have a normal human style conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of being why did you vote ... criminal or whatever things you ask a politician.
You don't ask that?
No, there's nobody to ask that of. I promise. Listen, here's a promise. If there was a crooked motherfucker in this election, I would busted them so bad. Because nobody loves fucking up a bully more than me. And like, I love crooked politicians. Oh God. Like, it's like scratching the itch perfectly when you can bust a crooked politician. We just don't have it. And look, nothing would please me more than a tasty conspiracy to dig my little juicy mouth around. Like, no, that doesn't exist either. God damn it. We just have to have our fun other ways. All right, here's the real punchline for this show. You are a person, you're a creative person maybe, you live in the area, you want to maybe make a podcast, you want to make a TV show, you want to show something you've already made. I think you've been maybe overlooking this resource.
Yeah.
Look what they let me do. I came in here and they were like, we have a couple rules. There are rules. I was
There
like,
are
that
indeed.
seems fair. You know, even though they were totally showing at one point my old show, The Hippie Report. In some episodes, of course, I am taking a bath and smoking weed profusely. But whatever, it doesn't seem illegal to show on TV. But what they said for this show, and the reason it shaped the way it did, can't do any drugs, of course, illegal, but also illegal, you know, on TV in a public space, whatever, very fair rule. And then no nudity, which, oh, you know, whatever, another time perhaps. I can't, you know, another show might require that. We might have to figure out how that works. We'll buy a blurring machine or something. But really, it was so easy to work with these guys, and they showed me how to work the gear and forgave me when I fucking messed up and couldn't get it right, and they helped me more. I actually require a lot of help in this world.
No. You learned it pretty quickly.
There are other characters here that were very helpful as well. Megan. Oh, we sing the praises of Megan. She is a deity and a what would you call it in maybe Dungeons and Dragons? She's like a techno wizard. You know what I mean? She's a technomancer.
Yeah.
She's like a
Technomancer,
robot
yeah.
magician, technomancer. Very cool. She's very cool. Anyway. Yeah, come on by Longmont Public Media. Yeah. You can donate. What if they just were like, I have $100. What if I hate having this $100. How could I get it to you?
Yeah, you go on our website, longmontpublicmedia.org/donate. Yeah, always love
definitely should.
donations. Also take donations for gear if you have stuff you're not using anymore. Or again, if you'd like to, just become a member, we do have memberships starting at $25 a month, all the way up to $100.
I mean,
or if you're interested in sponsoring a show and helping other creatives create their content for the local community, you can also participate in that way or fund a specific program. So, yeah.
Ugh, you really should. You really should. This is a resource that I think might be being overlooked by modern young motherfuckers, which they're all content generation.
That is true. Content is king now.
Content's king.
Yeah.
Here's a place where you can make some shit.
Yeah.
All right. I love you very much, Longmont. Sorry I did chew you out about the conspiracy shit. I love you. I hope you forgive me for my tone. Put your hands together for Sergio down there at your house there. Look, they're plotting for you right now. No, they're clapping for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
See?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Oh,
you, Andrew.
wow, God, no, that's plenty. That's plenty.
Yeah, don't do
Enough.
too much. I'm gonna
Enough.
blush.
It's my
I'm gonna blush.
show. Fuck.